The Dark Compass, Stormborn Saga Book 10, written by J.T. Williams, copyright 2019. Part 1. Black Scales. Valrin sipped a cup of tea as he tried to forget his nightmares that woke him from an already rough slumber. Many aspects of this floating shamble of a city reminded him of being on his ship. The creaks of wood beneath his feet, the smells of salt, and the splash of the occasional fish. But there was no breeze. Since the destruction of Aieclo, the seas had been remarkably calm, and not even the strong winds from the north were present. The ocean was changing. He took a seat on the edge of a pier. In about an hour, several of those living here would begin to fish. It was a simple enough life for the survivors. They'd fish in the morning, work to make more small boats midday, and then they'd eat around late afternoon. At night, they seemed to drift into their own groups. Several dwarves were actually wanted to the far south. Those three, especially the one called Warpig, were very secretive in all ways, except for the game of dice Ordek had played with them. Then there were the healers, as Evorn called them. Apparently the Roos's overlords who had run Cilir limited the types of magic that could be used openly. These healers were more that proficient at their art, and apparently were students of a druid who lived in the elven lands of Narasond. Aviam had become more of a recluse, spending her time meditating. Evorn, well, he had stayed with Valrin at most times. Valrin didn't mind this. Ilera and the king had made a point to keep watch, flying every morning to scan the surrounding seas. They wanted to make sure those here remained safe. But those nightmares. Valrin shook, forcing the images from his mind. He could still hear her voice. He couldn't stop thinking about her. It had only been a few weeks, but as he rubbed the stubble of hair on his face, he coughed, wiping away a few more tears. He felt something creep over his hand and noticed Rassi, Evurn's albino snake. He looked further up to see the shadow elf. "Did the herbs not help your sleep?" he asked. Valrin shook his head. Evern took a seat next to him. "I had a dream," Evern said. "Quite an interesting one." Valrin didn't say anything. He sipped his drink and continued to look out across the water. "I was dealing with the god Wura again. There was a giant chicken with swords. It actually breathed fire." Evern took out a pipe, a new habit he had developed being stuck on the free-floating city, deemed...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?